we don this uniform every day, not knowing, if we'll come back or not. And one of the things I still say to this day, Lord, please bring me home in the same condition that I left. And seeing that, was truly such a heinous and unnecessary. It's just one of those things that, I'll never forget.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. What's going on, fam? Welcome to the latest edition of the Black and Blue Podcast, where we celebrate diversity in U.S. law enforcement. If y'all know me by now, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Dale, and I'm the host of this little Black and Blue extravaganza. Thank you all for stopping by because I got a real good one for you today. But first, let me ask you all, please click those like, subscribe, and bell icons right down here on my YouTube channel. And if you listen to me on your favorite podcast platform of choice, hey, make sure you rate the Black and Blue Podcast 5 stars. And finally, make sure you check me out on any one of my social media pages for even more content. You can find me everywhere at Black and Blue US. All right, so let me introduce you all to today's guest. He is the Assistant Chief of Police for a beautiful town down in South Florida. So Black and Blue fam, help me welcome to the show, Delray Beach, Florida Assistant Police Chief, Darrell Hunter. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Dale. How are you doing, man?
I'm great.
Yes.
I'm great. Thank you for coming on to the show. Absolutely. So you were down in Delray Beach, Florida. For everybody that doesn't know where exactly that is, why don't you tell everybody where that is real quick?
Absolutely, man. Delray is a beautiful place down here in South Florida, down in Palm Beach County. For proximity purposes, we're actually 52 miles north of Miami, and we're approximately about 20 minutes south of West Palm Beach. So we're a beautiful coastal community that's nestled in between those two metropolitan cities, and we're known for our vibrant beaches, downtown entertainment district, and we're known for tennis. And a lot of you all may know, our very own 2023 U.S. Open champion Coco Gauff resides here in the city of Delray Beach.
What? Nice.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what's up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How big is Delray Beach as far as population?
Delray Beach, we're approximately 70,000. Our demographic, we're approximately about 62% Caucasian, 26% African American, and we have about 11% Hispanic and 1% multicultural and other. And our department pretty much is reflective of that. We're 65% Caucasian, 24% African American, 24% Hispanic, and 3% multicultural and other within our department.
Okay. How big is the department?
Well, our department, we comprise of 239 employees, which 169 of those are sworn, and we have approximately 70 professional staff members.
Okay, good size department. Absolutely. All right.
And I like to refer to most people and most agencies a lot. They'll talk about civilians, but when I became assistant chief, one of the things up under my previous chief that he got me to pass was changing that distinction, because a lot of our professional staff members, they hold a lot of skill sets that heck some of our sworn personnel doesn't have, such as at a point in time we had some that was on staff with PhDs, and we currently don't have any sworn staff that has PhDs, but they have a knowledge and a skill set that is to be desired. And I just felt that it was only appropriate, that we refer to them as such. And that was the name change that we had a couple of years ago from civilian to professional staff.
Professional staff. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of departments, including my own out here in California, has gone that route as well. Professional staff.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And in my department, there's even the professional staff managers part of the command staff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a lot has changed in that regard. Yep. Love to see it. So out there in Delray Beach, are you native to Florida?
I am. I am a native of Palm Beach County. I was born in Palm Beach Gardens, the city of Palm Beach Gardens, which is just north of Delray Beach. And I grew up mostly in West Palm Beach, but most of my years I spent in Riviera Beach, is where I grew up at, and went off to college, and eventually came back here to Palm Beach County to continue to serve my city and my community as well.
Nice. Where'd you go to school?
I went to school at Northeast Mississippi Community College. I played inside linebacker there. I was a All-American there. And from there, I went on to, I had a stint at Savannah State. I was there, and I ended up coming back. At the time, my wife at the time, we ended up having a young son, one of my 4 kids. And I ended up finishing at Southern University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and law enforcement administration. And, education was something big with my mother. So, once I did that, I continued to go back, and I ended up getting a master's degree from Waldorf University in organizational leadership with a concentration in public administration. And then from there, I had an opportunity to go to the FBI National Academy, where I continued my education at the University of Virginia, obtaining a criminal justice degree, certificate, I should say, in education from University of Virginia.
Nice. That's what's up. Love it. And so yeah, you played inside linebacker. So you're a football guy, right?
Yes, sir. Football and basketball. I played a little bit of baseball, not much, but football is my thing. We're in South Florida today, so that's what we do.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah. So you're a Dolphin, right?
No, I am not a Dolphin.
You said
I am not a Dolphin.
Oh,
not
okay.
At all,
a buck. Is that the other one? Yeah.
No,
Neither.
I'm not a buck.
Okay. All right. What's the team there, sir?
Okay. For me, the Florida team, I'm a Jaguar, but I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Yeah.
Oh, you one of them. You one of them.
Oh yeah. But I am a Los Angeles Laker too as well. I like the Heat. I do like my Heat, but I'm a Magic Johnson man.
Yes.
Old
yes.
school.
Yes.
Old
yes.
School.
Magic, the ultimate team player. Magic Johnson.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right. And so did you come up through the ranks of Delray Beach, or is that the only place you've been?
Well, it's interesting you say that, Del. When I came back from school, I mentioned my wife at the time. I had a degree in criminal justice, and always had a passion for law enforcement. There were some experiences I experienced as a youth growing up, which was not so pleasant, and I just knew it was something inside of me. Being taught by two African American women and being raised by my mother and my grandmother that we're here to serve. And those experiences that I had that was not pleasant, I just knew that it was something that was deep down inside of me and my own moral compass that this is not what it is. It can be better than this. And that, that saying is always, if you want to be about change and you want to help change something, then you join whatever that cause is to help change. So for me, that was law enforcement. So when I first came back, I actually went into the private sector because at the time, my wife was a little bit nervous. And if you remember around 2007, that was one of the most deadliest years for law enforcement for us getting killed in the line of duty. So my children were a lot younger. So around that time, she knew I wanted to do it, and she encouraged me to go ahead and, and go to the academy and fulfill my dream. And man, once I got into it, I just took off because I'm here to serve. And that's what I was always taught, that's what I'm, was put here to do. And very, very big, in my belief in regards to that, and actually trying to make this world a better place, day at a time.
Yeah. There you
And
go.
I
There you
felt
go.
that law enforcement was just one of the things that was just so fitting, for me to be able to have an opportunity to be a part of something in this noble profession and be able to try to help change this culture that what we have.
Right. Right. And how long you been with Delray Beach?
17 years. I've been here 17 years, and I started out in road patrol, and I eventually moved on to our street narcotics team. Had an opportunity to do that for a while, selling undercover fake narcotics. And then I worked my way into the detective bureau, where I actually was a property detective for a time, and moved on to economic crimes, where I worked white collar. A lot of people would always ask, "What do you, instead of working the homicides or persons or what?" I just, I kind of looked at things, and I like to have a holistic approach in the way I'm looking at it. And I looked at one of the things from being in property. A lot of times those property crimes always led back to something in regards to financial, people breaking into someone's house or cars, they're stealing checks, credit cards. That was just the way that I kind of saw it going. And I actually wanted to learn as much as I possibly could about that. And I had an opportunity to do that. And man, I just jumped on it. And I had some great mentors within the agency that embraced me and what I wanted to do. And we went from there. And then once I got into the investigations, I was back there probably for about 6 years total. And I've always, had an infatuation with leadership, and always wanted to be at the top of leadership. And back when I was in the private sector is where I started really honing in on my skills in regards to leading. And I like to say, Dale, that I like to meet people where they are. I call it engagement leadership. So wherever you
Mm-hmm.
are, that's where I'm going to engage you. And I do the same thing day in and day out throughout our community as well.
Okay. All right. And so you took a liking to, property crimes and things that affect people, on a daily. Not to say that crimes against persons doesn't affect people on a daily, but it affects fewer people. Hopefully, in our communities, most people don't get affected by homicides and rapes and things of that nature. But you took a real a bead on property crimes, right?
Yes, I did. And again, I helped out with a lot of the homicides in regards to investigations because I enjoyed that. I had a great sergeant when I was back in investigations who he and I we would get together, and he kind of played the bad guy. I was the good guy, but we were able to build dialogues. But he taught me, a lot of things in retrospect to, building a rapport, with someone and being able to talk to them, and just establish that relationship. Obviously, I'm a big sports guy, so a lot of times, depending on who the individual was, that was kind of like the icebreaker, talking about sports and those things. But at the end of the
Yes,
day, my mother, my grandmother, they always taught, no matter how heinous the crime is or whatever it is someone's done, that's still someone's child, and they still deserve the same dignity and respect that anyone is due. And I've always
absolutely.
kept that near and dear to me.
Yeah. Your department sounds kind of equivalent to mine. I'm in investigations now too, and I'm working ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
but whenever we have a homicide, it's all hands on deck, and everybody is helping out and working on those sorts of crimes when it happens. So,
absolutely. The
yeah,
ICAC is tough, man. I took some classes on that, man. That's a tough one. I take my
yeah.
hat off to you, brother, on that one
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
appreciate it. And yeah, those are
Yeah.
cases that, you take a real, in the beginning, a lot of people don't want to do it because you actually have to look at those images of children
Yes.
being sexually abused. And a lot of people don't
Yes.
want to do that. I take the approach that, I want to do that sort of crime because these are heinous criminals. These are people that are,
Absolutely.
that are taking advantage of our youth. And even if it's just possession of these images, it's only a matter of time in most of our opinion before they graduate and actually have to do hands on with the child. So I take
Absolutely.
a
Absolutely.
take it real seriously of catching those predators. Yep, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Much need. Much need.
Yep. So you are now the assistant chief over there at Delray Beach. What is your daily life like as the assistant chief over there? What are your duties over there?
Oh, Dale, I mean, it's, I don't think you can put that in for as a description in regards to, I wear a lot of different hats. I'm currently over
Yep.
the Special Services Bureau, which encompasses accreditation, information and technology, dive team, our fleet, special operations, I have our communications, which is that's a tough position in itself, and we have our records management, and you know, man, it is extremely busy day. And I would say, once we get to this level, a lot of the crime fighting stuff, more so, it's not as much. I mean, we're still involved with it, but from where I sit now, a lot of things is just policy making in regards to making sure that our officers, one, they're equipped with what they need to be equipped with to be able to do the job that they need to do, and also looking at different policies and how we can make our organization better in regards to a more robust policy programs in regards to best practices and what do we see throughout the country.
Yeah, absolutely. And being an African American as an assistant chief in your organization, what sort of responsibility do you feel bringing up the next generation of leaders in your organization or in the profession in general?
Oh yeah, I mean it is, and thank you for that question, because I currently serve as the Noble South Florida chapter president, and which encompasses Dade County, which is Miami, Broward County, which is Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach County, and also Fort Myers. So, and obviously, in Noble, you've had many of our guests that's members of Noble, and the acronym is the National Organization for Black Law Enforcement Executives. And I feel that it is really, really important for us being in these leadership roles, because obviously it's not a whole lot of us that's here. But one of the things where I can say in South Florida where we really have actually moved that needle, because 6 of the police chiefs, African American women, reside, in South Florida, and we have a total of 13. And even though when I say total, it sounds like that's a lot, but when you're talking about 18,000 police departments and over, the whole U.S., that's not a whole lot, So I find it equally important to make sure that, one, that, we're doing our due diligence in regards to this job and what we need to be doing, but also to be reaching back, mentoring, and not just African American, but everybody as a whole, because my thing is, and what I say as a leader, it's our job to identify the talent, to develop the talent, to guide the talent, and then to get the heck out of the way, and that's what I constantly do, here at our agency, and not only in the agency, but within our Noble chapters and throughout. We're all in the same situation, all fishing from the same pool, trying to find the same recruits, and what is it that we're doing a little bit different? I mean, it's different things such as, policies. In our agency, Dell, we have to have it. You have to have at least 60 credit hours, or at least associate's degree, or 45 credit hours if you're a non-certified officer. And then once we send you to our police academy, they give you additional 15 credits. So those are some things that we look to do a little bit different to try to attract, more qualified candidates. And one of the things I tell our recruiting team all the time is we all end up going out, with our significant others and different things, or families. But the days of old where we go to universities and we're looking for criminal justice majors, I said, no. I look at it as a holistic, again, in regards to hospitality. How are those individuals treating you? And again, I started out in the private sector. So for me, being in the private sector for 12 years, becoming over into law enforcement, it gave me a different point of view in regards to customer service. Because I say this all the time, and I used to always go, had a low lieutenant back in the days when I was a sergeant who would go back and forth with me. He's like, Hunter, you're always talking about this customer service stuff. I said, well, that's what we're in. We're in a customer service oriented business. We keep response times for what, this is a $48 million business that we're running here, and our job is to provide a service to our community, to the stakeholders that live here within the city of Delray Beach. So yes, we are in the customer service oriented business, and that's our job, is to make sure that we're providing quality service, for our residents here, because it's about the quality of life, for them, and making sure that they're safe, and making sure that they're proud of their police department and what we're providing and giving them.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned earlier, you were talking about recruitment teams and what your agency has to offer potential candidates. Do you find that you guys are behind the 8 ball nowadays, like a lot of agencies nowadays, in recruiting, because a number of factors, of why people nowadays don't really want to become police officers. Are you guys having a hard time recruiting as well?
Yeah, we're faced with those same things, but we're fortunate here at the Delray Beach Police Department that we've actually, right now, we're actually staffed, and we're looking at getting some additional spots, added, to our staffing. But we took a robust, look at how we were actually recruiting, what were we looking at, what could we change, in regards to. And I'm not one that's a proponent of lowering our standards. And what we did here, we did not lower any of our standards. We just looked at things a little different in regards to such as like marijuana use, whereas before it was, 5 years, we kind of knocked it back to 3 years, because, obviously, there's a lot of places that's legalizing marijuana and different things. A lot of legislation and stuff has been passed. And some kids, they're kids, when they're experimenting, they're trying certain things and whatever. But, we just had to take a hard look at what we were doing and try to provide the best product that we possibly could, to make sure that, we were meeting all those needs, to make sure that we were able to service, our community. So we were able to do that. And we constantly still do that, because the moment you get up and you think that you're there, which we never celebrated, because you'll be right back down again,
Oh, yeah.
And you'll be, in the same cycle. So it's a continuous thing. And we had to look at it. At one point, we looked at, okay, how long is it taking us to actually process somebody? So we started looking at the data and all the analytical stuff. And it was actually almost taking us about 6 months. Well, we were losing a lot of people, Dale, in regards to that time, 6 months. So now we got it down to where once we get them in through the interview process, we immediately send them to polygraph. We start them in the background process, psychologicals, immediately once they pass that oral assessment. So once they do that, then we got it down to, like, right now, we're less than a month that we got them in the door and hired on and ready to go to the academy.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You don't think that there's any shortcuts taken in processing people that quickly, at least in the background process?
No, we're not taking any shortcuts. Again, we've got more staff, which meaning now we have to pay overtime for the detectives that's actually doing the background work in regards to these individuals. But again, once we get out of the oral assessments, we're immediately sending them now to the polygraph. So if they're not passing the polygraph, then he or she they're not moving on to the next phase. But if they pass that, then we're moving them on, to every different step that we have within our process. And by the time, the last process is the background. So we're waiting for the completion of that. And by the end of the month, we got a 2-man team that's double teaming that's working that. And they do a phenomenal job of making sure that we get a turnaround. And then once we do that, our team gets together and we talk about every candidate that we have that's coming through here. And we have that investigator go over it, they have the best knowledge in regards to that individual. And they tell us about, that individual. And we as a command staff sit down, we look at it, and we make an assessment in regards to, is he or she a fit for us? Obviously, if there's some things that's in that process, the sergeant in training and his background detectives, they have that ability to be able to terminate, that process at that point in time before it actually gets to us. But by the time that product gets to us, they've done their due diligence, they've done their vetting, and it just worked out for us. But those days of waiting 6 months, we were losing people, crazily.
Yeah. To other agencies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's you guys' philosophy on laterals versus academy training?
Well, we've been successful. Not as much as we like, because when we're talking about a lateral, they have to come in and obviously take the state approved test that we have here. And we do have a lot of people. I know our governor has some initiatives that he implemented in regards to trying to get some laterals to come into the state of Florida for its law enforcement purposes. I don't have any problem with that. But what I found out, Dale, a lot of the times where we've had people that came down to the state of Florida, and we don't have many. I think we have 2 on our in our department that actually were laterals that came down. The others, they actually wanted to go through the academy all over again. Some of them, were actually on the job 5 or 6 years, but they felt that they needed to come through and go through the whole academy in the state of Florida to be able to get a better grasp in regards to what we were doing. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely understand that if they're coming in from another state, you got to learn another state laws. I was talking more particularly, within state, within even the county. So someone wants to come over to Delray Beach from Riviera Beach or from Miami Beach or what have you. Does your agency, your command staff kind of feel like we want a homegrown people as opposed to people bringing over their culture from another agency into our culture?
No, we don't. We don't have any problem with that. So we're unique here again in a sense because I'm over the Criminal Justice Academy. So at our local high school, we have a Criminal Justice Academy, which is a feeder system for us. So obviously, these individuals, these young men and women, I mean, they do a phenomenal job at our high school here, Atlantic High School. And once they complete that program, they get 9 credit hours to our state college here. And they also get a certification to become a community service officer as well. So even though they may be young, but we can actually get them on staff. We get them in. They learn, how to do traffic crash and reconstruction. They learn about report writing and all the different nuances that we have here at the police department. But we don't typically, in the state of Florida here, we have what's called FRS. It's a Florida retirement system. So a lot of individuals that get into that, they kind of want to transfer. You'll see that more so with individual municipalities that have the Florida State Retirement System. We in Delray Beach have a municipal retirement system. So same thing. So now if you have that Florida State retirement, it's a lot easier for you to go over to another agency, whereas then you may lose seniority, but you don't lose any time or anything like that. Whereas if you come over to us or maybe another municipality, you lose seniority, but you can buy back that time wherever you were. But obviously we know right now in the time that we're in, those prices get really expensive. So when we're talking about in the state of Florida, where in our agency we have where you can retire at 20 or you can do the drop program, which is our deferred retirement option plan, for another additional 5 years. So basically you retire at 20 and then you go into the drop program for another 5 years. So we don't frown upon it, but we don't see that a whole lot within our agency where we get laterals from other agencies.
Okay, I got you. That's a big thing out here, especially with the real big agencies, say like LAPD or LA Sheriffs. A lot of people will go over there because they hire constantly all the time. They'll do their year, get their probation, and then they jump to smaller agencies like mine. And a lot of those bigger agencies find that they gotta. I think it's been overruled, but they were writing contracts saying you gotta stay with us for 3 to 5 years because we give you signing bonuses, and if you leave before that, you got to pay it back. All these sorts of things. When we're, like you said, we're all competing for the same people out of the same pool.
Absolutely.
Yep. And going back to sports, you were talking about your high schools and all that, feeder system. It's a farm system. You guys got your own farm system. Got your own farm system.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a very robust one. And man, we have probably about almost, close to 10, on staff, that we've had, and we've got some more that we're just waiting to mature in age wise, because they can start here, at 18, 19 years of age as a community service officer. And we got them within our system this whole time, and we're grooming them, in regards to being able to become officers, once they reach 21 years of age.
Nice. So going back to your time back when you were actually working investigations or on the street, tell me about a case that comes to mind that really struck you and will always be with you throughout your whole career, that when everyone talks about a highlight, this is the one that you bring up.
Well, there's several. One's a highlight, and one's with some kids that really affected me. It was some kids that we found that were in a suitcase that was dumped into a canal. And again, as you talked about earlier, all hands on deck, and that was one where these kids went missing, and we found these suitcases that went afloat in one of the canals here in the city, and it just broke my heart, and that's what I say all the time. Even though we don this uniform every day, not knowing if we will come back or not, And one of the things I still say to this day, Lord, please bring me home in the same condition that I left. And seeing that, was truly such a heinous and unnecessary. It's just one of those things that, I'll never forget. And seeing that and being, on that scene, even though I wasn't the primary, but just how I felt. But one on the flip side is when I was working narcotics, selling undercover fake street narcotics. And I sold this one and ended up arresting this one young lady. And she was so high, she didn't recognize me, because any other time she knew who I was. And she would, we would always have conversation, and I always talk to her about, getting herself back together, because she was a very, very intelligent, smart young lady. And again, as I said, no matter, what some of these people are going through, they're still somebody's child, and they still deserve, to be treated with dignity and respect. And we ended up taking her to jail. So I had promoted out into the investigations section from the street narcotics team. And probably about 3 or 4 months later, I get a call to the lobby that someone wanted to see me. So I go out in the lobby and I see her, and she said, "Hey, how are you?" I said, "I'm good." I said, "How can I help you?" And she just grabbed me and gave me this big hug. I'm standing there in the middle, the lobby, like, I don't know what she's hugging me for, but, I don't even know what I did. So I said, "Hey, what's the deal?" And she said, "You saved my life." And I said, "Okay." I said, "How did I save your life?" And she said, "Because had you not arrested me for buying that fake crack, I would have not known that I was pregnant." So when she went up to county jail, they test the females, to see if they're pregnant. She found out that she was pregnant. And as a result of that, she got off of crack. And she would come by and see me for probably 5 years of that child's life when she was born. And that was one, man, Dale, that sits with me. And that's the reason, that makes this job, so special to me, because, even unbeknownst to me that was going to be the outcome, I was only doing my job, and trying to make a better quality of life for our citizens here by kind of ridding some of this, the street narcotics and stuff that was out there.
Yeah.
But I helped save a life, in the process, and she was very, very, thankful for that. And that's something that sits with me for the rest of my life. And I tell that story all the time,
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned that was crack back then, but the big one now is fentanyl. You guys,
Oh, yeah.
you guys seeing an increase in usage out there at Delray Beach and fentanyl? We obviously do out here in California.
Yeah, at one point, Dale, Delray Beach we had a very high number of fentanyl overdoses. But I'll go back to one of our former chiefs. He had the wherewithal. We were the second agency within the state of Florida to start carrying Narcan. And he had the foresight to be able to see that, what, we're first responders. We're responding to all of these overdoses, because I was a sergeant at the time. And I tell you, man, it was like crazy. I mean, we go back to one house and we go to another house, and the individuals that was in the house, I'm like, didn't you just see what happened to your roommate? And we were back there, but it was crazy, man. And that's some nasty stuff. And we knew when we had a lot of overdoses and some resulting in death that there was a bad batch that was out there on the streets. And our team was working very, very hard, to try and curtail some of that and find them, but again, we were the second, largest, second agency within the state of Florida to start carrying Narcan. Officers were able to save a lot of lives, by being on scene and also administering this Narcan, at the time, of these individuals going through, what they were going through at the time.
Yeah, another parallel between your agency and my agency. My agency was one of the first to start carrying Narcan on patrol as well. And a lot of our patrol officers on the daily have to deploy Narcan once or twice a shift. It seems like,
Yeah.
on a lot of occasions. And it's crazy. It's a crazy epidemic out there. And hopefully we're getting a handle on it.
Oh yeah, it is. And I mean, our city, man, is so phenomenal. I mean, done a lot of great things in regards to trying to curtail some of those things in the treatment facilities and different things like that. So it's just the same thing even with our homeless. I mean, we have one of the most outstanding outreach teams within the state, probably within the country. We have people coming all over, to benchmark and to see what we're doing in regards to our clinician and her staff. And, and I love to talk about them because she knows every homeless person, within the city. We're approximately 16 square miles, Dale, the city of Delray Beach. And we have a real robust program for us counting. We call it a point in time count in regards to, and our officers are involved in this count too. And it's not so much just shooing them away or moving them along. But again, I'll go back to that respect and treating them with dignity. That's somebody's child, and we want to try to get the information that we need to be able to help these individuals and to help them find temporary housing, to help them, get back to wherever they're from, because our program is not just keeping them here. I mean, if it's some folks we had that was from Colorado that came, but her and her team, they know everybody and they know the people that's not from here. And it's because of that dedication and that hard work that what they do, they're able to identify the individuals, get them the help that they need, get them bus vouchers or wherever it is that they come from, and trying to help them, with that.
Yeah, good stuff. So, how long you been the assistant chief over there?
Almost 3 years now. Almost 3 years.
All right. And how much longer you got over there?
Oh man, I got so Dale, I have 4 beautiful kids. I got my oldest son, Darrell. He teaches. He's a professor at the University of Illinois. He's a director of first year experience, and he played football at Bowling Green. Thank you. And my daughter, Dakiria, she's a school teacher here in Palm Beach County, and my youngest son, Damari, he's an accountant. They're both Florida A&M grads, those two, and in Palm Beach County here. And the baby girl, she's 20. She's at Florida State. She's in her junior year studying chemistry to be an anesthesiologist. So she'll be going to medical school. So I got a whole another decade or so to go, Dale.
a whole.
But I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I truly love getting up every day, coming to work, and engaging with my community, and our officers and our staff that we have here. Just phenomenal, man. I truly, this is the greatest job for me. It truly is. Yeah. And I love everything about it.
But none of the kids wanted to follow in Dad's footsteps, though, huh?
No, I thought I thought I might have him in. I thought he might want to veer towards the federal government, the FBI. At that time, they're still looking for a lot of those accountants, but that's not what he wanted to do. So I was like, okay, so he's doing accounting work and preparing for a CPA. So he's doing well for himself.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, as you should. Proud dad, proud papa.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. All right, Chief. So I appreciate you coming on and having some fun with me and espousing some knowledge of what's going on out there in Delray Beach and in Florida and all that. But you're not done with the show yet today. I prepared you for what is to come. So let's get this started here for you. Yes, sir. This right here is
black or blue, 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 black or blue. Come on.
All right, Chief, this is my black or blue game. And your category today is Ain't That a Beach? Ain't That a Beach? That's particularly cities in California and Florida with the word beach in their names. Of course, you work for Delray Beach. There's a lot of cities out there in Florida with the name beach in the name, and a lot of cities out here in California. I'm going to name a city, and you just tell me, is that in California or is it in Florida? California where I am or Florida where you are? Easy?
All right. Okay, let's
go.
See.
We'll see. All right, here's your first one here. Pismo Beach. Is that California or Florida?
That's California.
Yes, sir. It is in California. Yes, Pismo Beach. All right, off to a great start here. There's your first one. How about Neptune Beach?
That's in Florida.
That is in
Daytona
Florida.
area.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Neptune, Florida is in. Neptune Beach is in Florida. Okay. How about Bel Air Beach?
That's California.
Oh, well, your first one wrong.
Oh,
Bel Air's in California, but the city of Bel Air Beach is in Florida. Yeah,
really? Wow. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That is their
Bel Air.
their logo right there. Yeah, Bel Air Beach. We'll
All
get you
right.
back on track.
Never heard of it.
How about Long Beach?
That's out there where you are, Dale.
Yeah, that's where Snoop is from. Yep.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Yep.
is.
Long Beach is out here in California. How about Highland Beach?
That's right up the street from me. That's in Florida.
Yeah, so you knew that one. Yep. Highland Beach, the town of Highland Beach, Florida, incorporated
Yes.
in 1949. Okay. How about
Yes.
Manhattan Beach?
Ooh. I'm going to say California, Dale.
Ooh, you grasped the straws and you
Yeah.
got that one right. Yes. That
Yeah.
is in LA County. Yep, Manhattan Beach. All right. How about Seal Beach?
Wow. When I hear Seal Beach, I'm thinking about San Diego. So I'm going to say California.
Yep. That is in north of San Diego. It's in Orange County. Do they
Yes.
have many seals? Do they have many seals out there in Florida?
No.
Yeah, that's probably the giveaway right there.
Yeah.
The dead giveaway right there. Right? Yeah, Seal Beach. Okay, different waters over here. All right, how about
Oh,
how about Miami Beach?
Yeah, that's just 52 miles south of us.
I had to throw that one in there for you. Miami Beach is definitely out your way. West Palm
Oh,
Beach,
yeah.
where's that at?
That's home. That's
That
here
is-
in Florida.
That is out there in Florida. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And how about Hermosa Beach?
Mm. Hermosa Beach. I'm going to say California, Dale.
That is in California. Okay. A couple more here for you. Daytona Beach. I think this is the last
That's
one
here
here.
in Florida.
I had to give you
NASCAR.
another bone. Yes. Daytona Beach is in Florida. Yeah, ain't that a beach? California cities
Hey.
or Florida cities, you got more right than you got wrong. So we're going to call you
All I do is win, win,
Hey.
the winner.
no matter what. Got money,
Let's go.
never giving up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Well, there we go.
All right. Yeah, you just got that one stumble. You
Yeah,
know what
man.
tripped you up? Bel Air. You probably was thinking the Fresh Prince of Bel Air or something.
I was. Absolutely was. Sure was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And shout out to Will Smith. He's going through it a lot lately.
Oh, yeah,
but
man.
you know,
Yeah.
we'll save
Big
that for
Will
another
Smith
show.
fan, man.
Yep,
Yeah.
me too. All right, Chief. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Why don't we get some words of wisdom for the audience before we get you out of here?
Oh, yeah, Dale. You know what? I talk a lot about, this profession and how much it means to me and how much I love it. And I always say this all the time is every one of us who is in law enforcement, when we sat down in that chief or that sheriff's office and they asked us, why is it that we want to do this job? We all said that, we want to help somebody, and I believe in being intentional about everything that we actually do. This is a real noble profession. A lot of men and women that's out here doing phenomenal work, and all it takes is one bad apple, to paint this picture in this broad brush of all of us, which is not the case. And all I like to just leave our audience with is just always be intentional and just remember your why and why you got in this profession. And when you remember that why, most likely you'll revert back to you wanting to help someone and make your city or your county a better place.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Appreciate those words. And another thing before I get you out of here, what's the bat back there on the wall? What is that?
Oh, that's I went to SPI, Command Development course that we have here, Southern Institute of Police. And my son, when he was a graduate assistant at the University of Kentucky, he went over to Louisville and he got that bat made for me. Yeah, it matches their
Straight from
colors.
the factory, Louisville Slugger, huh?
Yes.
Nice.
That's where he went. Yeah.
That's
That's where he got that from.
That's cool.
Yeah. 81st session. Yes.
Okay. All right. Congratulations on that, and congratulations on your work over there, Chief. A decade more to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got a lot of work, Dale. I'm gonna be back with you, man. When I'm chief one day, and we're gonna do it all over again, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
What's the aspiration for you there?
Oh, well, when I got into the profession, when the Chief Schrader hired me, he asked me, he said, "What is it, that you see yourself doing, in 20 plus years or so?" And I told him, "Sir, I see myself in your chair having the same conversation with the recruit." So, I came in this profession, not as I was in my early 30s, and I've always wanted to be a chief, and being a chief has always been my goal. I'm currently in the Noble CEO Mentoring program, which is a program that mentors us, and I have a lot of mentors throughout the country in regards to helping that dream come to fruition. But being a chief of police is definitely one of them, for sure.
I have no doubt that you get there, Chief. No doubt.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
All right. All right. Thanks again, and enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Dale. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
Take care. Yes.
Yes, indeed. That's what we do here on the Black and Blue Podcast. I want to thank Delray Beach, Florida, Assistant Police Chief Darrell Hunter for joining me on this episode. I appreciate you, sir, and sincerely hope you reach that coveted prize of the Big Chief's chair real soon. If you guys enjoyed this episode just like me, let me know by leaving a comment down below. And don't forget to like and share this video while you're at it. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with another interview with a minority in U.S. law enforcement. But till then, y'all know it. Stay black in blue. I'll holler at you. Deuces.
This has been a Maitre D Entertainment presentation.